Hi, my name's Anna Serin. I'm Director of Listings Development with the Canadian Securities Exchange. You're joining us for another CSE podcast. Today, we're going to break down how to access U.S. capital for any Canadian issuer. I'm joined today by Cliff Mastricola, our friends at Torrey Hills, based out of San Diego. Thank you for joining me, Cliff.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm a little upset we're not doing this in San Diego because I feel like it might be a bit warmer, don't you think?
Yes, it's definitely warmer, but I got to tell you, the weather's been beautiful since we've come up here to Vancouver.
I feel like around this time of year, we do finally get the sunshine, and it really shows Vancouver in its full beauty.
I think I brought it.
You brought it.
Yeah.
You probably did. Okay, listen, I'm just going to start off by talking a little bit about why this conversation is so important for Canadian issuers. Canadian issuers have traditionally recognized the opportunity to cross our border, go down to the U.S. and raise capital. We have a great relationship with the OTC Markets, and they have developed their regulated boards. Right now, as we stand, there's around 750 listed companies on the CSE. I believe almost 400 of them are on the regulated board with the OTC Markets. They regularly cross the border to go and raise capital. We have an amazing program between our two marketplaces that allows them to do that with some fungibility between stock on either side of the border. But just getting your OTC ticker and your DTC eligibility is not enough. And this is where you come in, my friend. We have started working with Torrey Hills and trying to help find places where issuers can cross the border and share their story. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Torrey Hills?
Well, Torrey Hills Capital has been around for over 25 years. There are 6 people as part of the team there that have all been with Torrey Hills Capital for 20 years plus.
You have a great team, by the way.
Thank you. That's why they've been there for 20 years. We do non-deal roadshows, in the U.S. And in Canada also. We have been working with mining companies for 20 plus years. Access to those markets, access to brokers, high net worth individuals, specialty resource funds is important to, I think, most foreign companies to come down and present. We pre-qualify our investors before the companies come down to meet them. These are small group meetings. They are one-on-one meetings, which we will then follow up with information for each company that comes to meet us.
And I think, you have a unique background in the fact that you are very well connected in the U.S. in various locations. You're based out of San Diego, but you kind of work across the U.S., right?
Yes. I'm originally from Boston, as 3 of the team members are from Boston, New York, L.A., so we've all worked across the country in the brokerage business. And we have access to 32 markets right now in the United States.
Yeah. I think one thing that's maybe counterintuitive for issuers to understand, but very important, is that the non-deal roadshow component. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about what that entails.
Yeah, that was, as I said, would be sitting in front of the brokers community and having issuers tell their story, what they've done in the past and what they're going to do in the next 3 to 6 months out.
Yep.
And give them the opportunity to purchase the stock in the market.
Yep.
And once again, we'll give feedback as to if they are or they're not going to purchase stock in the market, if they're not interested. And any kind of objections they had, the team at Torrey Hills Capital will overcome or pass on to management to try to push in the right directions that they will become take a position in the company.
Yeah. So I went down and joined you for one of your events in San Diego in late of 2025. Your investors were incredible, very knowledgeable. They've been investing in growth issuers for decades, many of them. And they all actually came from their own ecosystem of investors, I found. And we're all very excited by the company. So just to discuss a little bit of the framework, these issuers sit down with individual investors for the duration of the day. It's quite impressive what these people do throughout the day. And where I was saying it's a bit counterintuitive is they're not there raising capital. They are there just sharing their story with potential issuers to buy on the marketplace, which adds a lot of liquidity and value to the issuer itself, right?
Sure. And as you said, it's not just about getting a listing. It's about following up and growing your shareholder base, and you can do that down in the United States if you keep in contact on a regular basis with future shareholders and shareholders.
Okay, let's talk about some practical considerations for Canadian issuers when they're wanting to make this leap across the border. What are considerations that they should have if they're wanting to get their name out there?
Well, I think they should have a firm like ours that's been around through good markets and bad markets that can set up the non-deal roadshows with investors that are specifically mining or resource investors that can articulate a timeline, strategy. We can help with that, of course, the next steps for the company. Management that, as I said, will visit either by Zoom or in person on a regular basis to keep the market informed.
Yes, absolutely. And your roadshows, they're not, you don't just have mining investors in your ecosystem, right? You cover all sectors?
All sectors. I've never seen the market more excited for microcap, small and microcap mining companies right now. So
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's been some great reception. But also critical metals and biotech and healthcare
yes.
are two companies that we focus on. And I think it's important that if you do use a investor relations firm to come down, that they know how to speak about the mining sector, or know the biotech sector, and that they have specific connections within those sectors.
Absolutely. I think also a little thing that's unique as far as Torrey Hills is the biotech sector is quite big in San Diego area, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And so you have an ecosystem in your backyard of investors that are very intrigued by it.
And biotech's going through a little bit a little bit of a down market, and companies are having trouble getting funded.
Yep.
And as we know, that's all cyclical, and that's how those things happen.
Yes.
But that's why I've kind of focused on we've focused on the resource side.
Yep.
Is because a lot of companies are getting funded, and it's part of the marketing strategy.
The one thing that I noticed about your event was that I also noticed, and I think this is an important part when choosing a service provider and trying to get across to the U.S., was that your investors seem to follow Torrey Hills. So they seem to let you curate the issuers that you are bringing to them, which I thought was really impressive of the ecosystem that you've built down there. And that's taken some time, right?
Yeah, it's to build credibility and trust with the investors. There's a lot of people who are trying to get their attention. You have to bring good companies, and you have to have those companies follow through. And you can't be wrong too many times, because you're only, if you do come into a situation where you have 2 or 3 deals that blow up badly, then it's not good for business.
Yeah.
And so we like to work with people we've worked with in the past, good management.
Yeah.
We're all referral based. So that's kind of how we run Torrey Hills Capital.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next thing I want to ask is maybe you can give some guidance. So when issuers are looking to go and do a non-deal roadshow, get their story out there to investors, whether in Canada or the U.S., I think this guidance can help. What are things that you think are really helpful for issuers to have ready, whether it's, their PowerPoint presentation, their website? What are things that work well for issuers to have ready for these types of activities?
Well, once again, they have to articulate their story. We can help with that. Of course, you want to be consistent, everybody on the same page is what story are we telling. We want to make sure that all decks, financials are all in order. We just want to sit down with management and have a clear plan and path forward and execute.
Yeah. So. Walk them through a good business plan.
Yep.
Okay. Any common pitfalls and anything issuers should make sure that they try and avoid?
Yeah, just not being transparent, under-promise, over-deliver. A lot of times that companies will come down. It won't be on the first meeting that investors will purchase stock. They'll look at the company for 3 months, 6 months out.
Yeah.
And if we're expecting a certain drill amount, to make sure that those numbers come in and build confidence with the investor base.
Yeah. As far as kind of our current political landscape, have you noticed any shift in U.S. investors' sentiment towards Canadian issuers?
Not really.
No. They'll still invest in Canadian companies?
Listen, their job is to perform and make money for their clients.
Yeah.
And if there's an opportunity to do that in a sector, then, all these, once again, sectors are cyclical.
Yeah.
Biotech, if it's having a really tough time getting funding, and right now resource companies are.
Yeah.
And so, unless you want to sit on the bench for 6 months or 6 years, whatever, until a certain sector comes back into play, then you're going to invest into other sectors.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I love that we still have, that we have open doors with each other. I think I heard once that California has more equity capital than all of Canada combined. So it is certainly something that we encourage our issuers to do, and it seems like it's going to open arms. So we're excited about that. Cliff, I hope that we can continue to work with you and bring our Canadian issuers down and access to your unbelievable pool of investors in the U.S. Where can we find more information about you?
Torrey Hills Capital website.
Okay, great.
And can reach out to us by phone or by email, cm@sdthc.com. We're referral-based. Most people in the resource sector in Canada know who we are. You can find us. We're easy to find. And
you guys have a reputation that precedes you. You have been around a long time. Everyone knows your team. And I think that's another important element. There's lots of shops down in the U.S. is make sure that you do your due diligence and you're getting involved with a good one.
It's how you grow a business long term, and that's what we've done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cliff, it's so great to see you. Next time I see you, can it be in San Diego instead of Vancouver?
Promise.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Anna.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.